Testing 1 2 1 2. What is up, everybody? I said I was going live Friday. We had some technical difficulties, so I did want to come pull up, do a test run. Uh, this is not the final. What's that? The final result of how this show is going to look. This is just trying out new software, trying to figure out where we at, and we live. I am D. This is the D Nose Show. This was previously the Slant Football. That's still a part of my part of the DNA, a part of the fabric. But I wanted to make this more personal. Um, Turn this into a show where you guys can be a big, huge part of the show. You guys, I'm referring to as the community. You guys are what's going to make this show thrive and grow. So I ain't got to talk about all the typical YouTube like, share, all that other stuff. Y'all guys know what to do. If you dig what's going on, this is what we're going to be doing. So you're going to be getting lives and you're going to be getting videos and you're going to be getting all other forms of content. But I did want to do this. This is something that's kind of like near and dear to my heart. I grew up through radio, Kendall Lewis, in Cleveland, the Greg Brendas, all those guys, because I was born in Cleveland and you got Jim Romes and all this stuff. So radio has been something that I wanted to get into for a long time. So now this is my chance to kind of do that in the YouTube space and, the social media space. So had to tap in. I wanted to do this. I know we still have the Cowboys and the Packers going on. That is a tight game. Packers are up by 3 right now, if I'm not mistaken. And I didn't want to make this live uh, be too late. Everybody's trying to go to work the next morning. Everybody's pretty much going into the offices and everything else on a Monday. So, again, I just wanted to come in, do something quick, nothing spectacular, but expect more things to come. So, uh, again, my name is D. Welcome to the In Crowd. So, uh, I was up early. I'm pretty sure everybody else was up early catching that 9:30 game. We saw the Steelers and the Vikings, and what can I say? The Steelers looked good first part of the game, and they was able to seal the deal with a pick at the end, but it still looked like typical Mike Tomlin Steelers team. When you got a chance to put your foot on their neck, you got to do it. And the record says 3-1, but you know what I mean? I don't think they're a 3-1 team. To me, they're not championship material. Now, like I said, they did do some good things well. Aaron Rodgers looked good. Aaron Rodgers looked good. He got DK Metcalf involved early, and they were rolling. Defense played well, too. First half of the game. But towards that third or fourth quarter, they started kind of leaking, and they was able to eke out with a game. Now, on the Viking side of the ball, Carson Wentz to me didn't look bad. I think actually JJ McCarthy would have probably got destroyed because that Steelers defense was they was trying to heat seek today. They was trying to heat seek. They was ready for action, and you saw it. They've heard all of us talking about how they look terrible. This defense is being paid. I think their total salary on defense is $170 million. That's something we've never seen before. So, they had to come out and make a statement. And, usually when the teams go overseas, the games are kind of sluggish in the first half or so. But the game picked up pretty well. Again, I think this goes to show too the reason why I think JJ McCarthy isn't ready. I don't think he's ready for the big time. I think he already had a lot of deficiencies to his game, in my opinion. But I think that Carson Wentz fits that offense. And honestly, I think you give Carson Wentz a couple more weeks, we may be having some type of little quarterback controversy. Um, was Carson Wentz great? No. But this was like his first week to really start that offense from start to finish. And it'll probably be better next week. So, I thought that was a pretty decent showing by Carson Wentz, to be totally honest. I know a lot of people aren't going to see it that way, but I think it was a decent showing. Flores' defense didn't play all that well, to be honest, which was shocking to me, to be honest. He usually has those guys ready, and dare I say, Arthur Smith out schemed him. I wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? Listen, stranger things happen, and what can I say about it? Um, Also, the other game, I tried to keep up on all the games. I'm one man, so I try to, flip around to the games, pull up all the simulcasts and everything else. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they rolling. They showing that they are truly a champion. They are truly a champion. They face some adversity. I thought from the beginning that Buccaneers Eagles game was going to be a tight game, and the Eagles they got out the blocks early, and they start kicking Tampa Bay's butt out the blocks. But uh, you're dealing with Baker. You're dealing with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is Baker personality wise, because he's matured a lot. He has become one of my favorite quarterbacks because he just got that it. You know what I mean? He is ready for the big time, and he's going to put that team on his back. And, the Buccaneers could have just phoned it in. Simple as that. They could have phoned that game in, and Baker just does not give up. And you got to think about he's filling the shoes of Tom Brady, who came in and in 2 years won a Super Bowl and got a deep run, I think, the next year. And then you come in and you become the journeyman, and you come in and all of a sudden this pressure is immediately put upon you to be that guy. And for him to come in and have took this team by the horns, and he is just like, you can tell his attitude and his imprint is on that Buccaneers team. You know what I mean? He makes these guys really feel like they believe. Emeka Egbuka, Ohio State. I had him as my number one receiver going into this past draft, and he's proven me right. And he's proven a lot of people wrong that said that he was just I don't know, like a more of the slot receiver, the number two receiver. He was going to run great routes, man, but he's running past people. I mean, the way he go about his business, he can do it all, man. And he's a physical receiver. He just gets off that line of scrimmage. He is just cutting these guys up off the breaks. And he was, he's giving people hell. But, that's Eagles defense was going to be tough on him. But for Baker to line it up the way he did in that second half, man, it just goes to show you that the Buccaneers, they coming. They coming. They are definitely going to have something to say about that NFC. But the Eagles are the Eagles. Even with A.J. Brown, putting whatever little cryptic tweets or whatever he got going on, they still 4-0. And they walking down everybody. They beat the Super Bowl champions and the Chiefs. They beat the Rams, who they ran up with head up in the playoffs last year. And now you got the up and coming Buccaneers, and they took care of them. The Eagles on a heater, and I don't even think they're in their best form yet. You know, come off that Super Bowl, and you have these teams who won. They kind of smelling themselves. You know, you got Saquon doing all the commercials. You know, Jalen Hurts is everywhere in the publication. He just got married. Everybody is getting their just due because they put that work in to be that team and to be a championship team and to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs last year. Just amazing. But to come back into this season and have that type of schedule, especially on this front end, you had Dallas. That's your rival. You know Dallas is going to want to show up against you. You had Kansas City. You know what I mean? Then you had the Rams. Then you had the Bucks. So you had knocked off 4 potential playoff teams already. I mean, they're doing their job. And I know everybody's like getting on Kevin Patullo, and Kevin Patullo right now, he sucks. But this is his first time being an offensive coordinator. This has got to be like Jalen Hurts' 5th offensive coordinator at this point. And it's going to take some time. It's still going to take some time. You know, these guys don't really do much in preseason. You know, practices is limited. So a lot of this is almost like preseason for these guys. So they're going to have to make some adjustments to see what Jalen likes or doesn't like. Last week, we saw Jalen Hurts kind of take over the play calling, and he was slinging it all over the field. Now, I don't remember what Jalen Hurts went for today. Let me check that out. They were running a lot of tricks and gadgets today. Let me see what he did. Let's see here. Okay, let's see what Jalen Hurts did. So he did 130 and 2 touchdowns. So he ain't do much. He ain't do much. And I know everybody been getting on him like, hey, he's only throwing for 100 yards. Well, when he needs to throw the ball, he throw the ball. When he needs to throw the ball, he throws the ball. And he does it well. So anybody have anything to say about that, I don't know what to tell you. Because when he's, you know, instructed to do it, he does do it. The next thing I want to get to is you got to talk about the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, they got to make that quarterback change. They got to make that change. Now, we can go through all the things of the offensive line not being great. Okay, we knew that offensive line was older. It was getting long in the tooth. They had some replacements. DeJuan Jones went down last week. He's out for the season. But that line had been good coming into the season. You know you got a statue in Joe Flacco back there who's almost 50 years old. You know what you need to make sure that he's protected. But I also think the age is creeping in on Joe too. So you got those two things going on, but you have this historically good defense. And I mean, this defense has given everybody fits all 4 games. And you're in a position now where if this defense is this good, you're going to have to figure out how to match that offense with it, or at least get some type of production out of it. And, you know, regardless of do you believe Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are ready, it's time to kind of, you know, pull the trigger on that move, because right now you're not getting nothing out of Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco was giving you at least a touchdown a game, and some other things were being set up, and they're not even getting 18 points a game. You know, if they could get a touchdown out of Joe or that offense, it'll be a little bit different. But we just saw what happened in New York. Even with Russell Wilson throwing all the touchdowns and all the yards, the interceptions was backbreakers. They bring Jackson Dart in this game, and what we saw, Jackson Dart was able to get them to a win. Now, he didn't throw for a whole bunch of yards. But he made sound decisions with the football. You know what I mean? Like Russ, we all know Russ be throwing to like who knows, right? It definitely don't be his team, but he throws to the other team. And that's kind of the situation that's going on in Cleveland. Joe Flacco was making some piss poor throws. And, you know, if he's going to make piss poor throws and overthrowing guys or whatever the case may be, you have to then go look at your young guys on the bench. You got Dillon Gabriel, you drafted him in the 3rd round. You got Shedeur Sanders, you drafted in the 5th round. At this point now, unless you're thinking about making a move where you may try to go make a trade with Atlanta, because the Browns are just 1-3. But the Browns could easily be 2-2, 3-1 had they got some competent offensive play from the quarterback position and the skill positions. Now, one of my knocks, and I've been easy on him I've been easy on him this last year or so, but I've been hard on him in the past, and that's Kevin Stefanski. And I got to get on him at this point now. You cannot let your ego control the room. And I think that's what's kind of going on with Kevin Stefanski. The ego cannot control the room. And when I look at the play calling and the things here he's calling, they're so elementary. So you already don't really have the talent. You got talented tight ends. My favorite coming out of this draft was Harold Fannin Jr. I think he's a mismatch nightmare. He could be like a Brock Bowers. He got the speed, the route running is crisp. And he can decently block to not be that big of a guy. Then you got Njoku, who's been a Pro Bowler. So you got a couple tight ends. And I think if you're going to use those guys, you have to figure out a way to make them the focal point of the offense. Jerry Jeudy is not a number one. Jerry Jeudy is a 2 at best. So when you don't have a real threat on that outside, and you have to work with what you have, you can't keep having a play calling that you have. And they're not doing anything. Like the play calling is so vanilla. So even if you do have a Joe Flacco back there who's a statue, you running any jet sweeps? Are you running any zone run schemes with Quinshon Judkins? He is a player himself. And where are we seeing these things at? Any screen games? Any just quick routes? You got to get the ball out of Joe Flacco's hands. And if you bring these guys, these young guys in, whether it's Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, these are still the same players they're going to have to play with. Yes, Shedeur, Dillon Gabriel are going to be more athletic. They're going to be able to get out of a couple sacks. They're going to be able to move the pocket some. But if these guys aren't helping them out, these rookie quarterbacks out, none of that's going to matter. None of that's going to matter. So when you look at that situation in Cleveland, they have to figure out, what as good as this defense is, are we still in a win now situation? Can we still make a run? Do you believe in the quarterbacks that's coming out in 2026? Me personally, a lot of the quarterbacks in the 2026 class, I like a lot, regardless of what's going on in college. You know, everybody's poo-pooing them and everything else. But if you really like one of these guys and you feel like you can then bring them into your system, then you bring them in and you develop them. Because it's really about the development of the guys. If you like these guys' player traits, you're going to bring them in. But Cleveland has to figure that part out. Are you okay with tanking this season? You already had a disgruntled player, even though he took the bag and Myles Garrett. He took the money. So he's going to be okay. But now that he's gotten the money, he's already made a comment a couple weeks ago. How much longer are you going to be able to keep him content when this defense is playing at a historic level and the offense can't even put up half of the potential that they may have of the defense. You're not even giving the defense a chance to even be in the game. So now you don't want to lose these guys that's on the defensive side of the ball, and all of a sudden they just give up. So the Browns isn't in position. Do you go trade for a Kirk Cousins? You know what I mean? Like, are you in a position where you feel like if we bring a veteran quarterback in immediately, can we go get him? You know what I mean? Because right now we're just 1-3. The Baltimore Ravens are 1-3. The Bengals are in trouble. So you got all these guys right now in this division, and Pittsburgh 3-1, and they're not world beaters. So do the Cleveland Browns believe that they can go bring somebody else in and maybe salvage this season some, or do they look at this season and say, "Hey, we didn't care anyway. We want to get the draft picks, the high draft picks," and that's a question that's going to have to be answered as far as that goes. Um, and whoever's in the live, hey, I appreciate you guys being here too. Again, this is just a soft run. You know, we trying to put it in the algorithm that we trying to start to get these lives going here, and the goal is to turn this into a everyday show. Uh, 7 o'clock. That is the goal. You guys get off work, you get to come hang out, grab your beverages, and your plate of food or whatever. You kick back and relax and come hang out with me. Um, we also are going to have phone lines and stuff like that at some point here soon. We're trying to figure all that stuff out. But like I said, I wanted to come in, give a test run, see where we was at, and this is fun. This is what I wanted to do. I hope you guys, come on the journey with me. We starting at a very small spot. Like I said, when the slant channel was going on, YouTube had whatever issues they had going on, and we ain't gonna worry about all that. But you guys see this live going on, just come in, check in, drop a comment in here. I'm definitely gonna answer all comments. Um, it's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff going on. I don't want to give up all my secrets because people like to steal stuff, but it's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff. It's gonna really be a cool place to be at. You get to hang out at. Y'all's guys' interaction is gonna be the life of the show. Believe me, I have a lot of stuff that I have planned. And wow, this game it got crazy. Dallas took the lead 37-34. Let's let's go check out where we at here. Let's get the live update. Oh man. Hey, Dak to Pickens look good. CD Lamb was out tonight. Um, we all know uh, Pickens, he got all the talent in the world. It's really about him being consistent. But all the crazy catches and everything else, he's done that tonight. And Dak has been on the heater. Listen, if the Cowboys have lost a lot of close games, where would that make the Cowboys record? That'll put them at 2-2. If Dak keep going this way, he's going to definitely be an MVP candidate. He's going to definitely be an MVP candidate. I'm guessing the Packers are going for a field goal. I guess they're in field goal range right now. So we might have an overtime game here. I would pull it up, but by the time I pull it up, the game will probably be over. So Yeah, but if you like what's going on, make sure you guys hit the like button. You know, like I said, this is a test run. This was nothing major. You know, I just wanted to come hang out with you guys. Let you know that hey, I'm a man of my word. I was supposed to come on Friday. Uh, it didn't happen. Technical, internet, you know, all that stuff, right? So I wanted to make sure I pulled up and at least talk to you guys, let you know this is my intention. I know you guys don't see the Batman poster back there. It fell off the sticky tabs and it fell down, so I got to actually put it back up. No, you guys I'm used to seeing the Batman picture. You know, you see the Jordan book and the Kobe book. You know, two guys that I try to resonate with. You know, try to recreate some of the standards that I'm trying to do for myself. So you know, I got to put the books back there. You know, you've seen the Batman. If you've seen the old setup, I had a Hawk and Wolverine picture. So I'm into all the comic stuff and wrestling. So like I said, this channel is mostly going to be sports, but we will, as the show grows, we'll have segments in the show where we'll talk about a lot of things. You know, we might even talk about a little bit of gaming, but for the most part, this is a sports show. Um, we'll talk a little basketball as the season go. Listen, I ain't gonna front, like basketball has not been a really big thing for me the last few years. It's been kind of weak, but looks like they're trying to get things back in order. So I'm all for it. I'll be back into it. We'll probably do some, I don't know, some live game, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it'll come. Also, we'll probably do as this live show starts to grow with members and all that other stuff. That'll come down the line, but we'll probably do some type of pick one game of the week, and we'll probably go live for that game or something of that nature. So we'll figure these things out as it goes along. But I appreciate whoever's in here, whoever's watching. I appreciate you guys sincerely. Again, this was just something that I wanted to do, pop up and uh, run my mouth a little bit, run my mouth a little bit, uh, let you know where I'm coming from. Listen, I'm excited to do this. I hope you guys are excited as well. Like I said, you are going to be a part of this show. This show is for the fans. This isn't like a lot of these podcasts. And then, listen, ain't no disrespect to those guys, but you know, all y'all guys can do in those shows is leave comments. You can leave comments on this show too. That'd be greatly appreciated because it helps the show. But um, this is gonna be an actual show. Like we're even gonna have. You'll see what I'm thinking here, and you guys will be a part of that. Also, if you guys are into getting into discords and things like that, we have a Discord. Um, the Discord will be a hangout spot. If you guys have any ideas and topics for shows, you guys can go in the Discord, put it in there. I'll be in the Discord too. You'll be able to get to me if you got questions or anything of that nature. Like you can ask me anything, and I'll do my best to answer them. And like I said, you got topics or something that you want to talk about that you think I missed. Listen, don't hesitate. That Discord is there. It's also built as a community aspect. A lot of you guys and gals, you know, we talk in sports and all that other stuff, you guys will be able to have that Discord community to be able to, you know, just be able to interact with each other. You know what I mean? I think community is big. And this is what I want to build with the D Nose channel. This is about the community. You know, this is why it's called the in crowd. You know, my definition behind it is not the typical in crowd where everybody just want to be together because everybody's going one way. I am a man of difference personally. I kind of walk to my own tune on the way I do things, and that's why the in crowd is spelt the way it's spelt. It's spelt like that because I want everybody that can come through from all different walks of life with differences of opinion and be cool to express it without it being a one side versus another. Now, in sports, it's going to be tribalism. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan and you're a Denver Broncos fan, of course, that's a part of the game. But like as far as individual go, this is about being an individual, and we just all collaborating together to put a great show and things like that together. So that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to come live. I just wanted to talk for a second, show you guys that I do exist outside of a video. So I'll keep learning all these new programs, and I just want to bring you guys a great presentation. So I've been like 30 minutes in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate whoever was in this live. I appreciate you guys. And I don't know if it had comments or anything like that. Let me just check just to make sure. And if it didn't, that's cool too. It's all good with that too. So listen, if you're seeing it late, you saw me go live, and we're gonna make this a thing. So just be looking out in the community posts. YouTube is weird. If you guys have been paying attention to what's going on YouTube, it's a lot of weird stuff that's been going on with a lot of people's YouTube pages. So just make sure you guys are checking all the social feeds. I have all the social feeds in the links in the bio on the YouTube page. We on TikTok, we do X, all that stuff. But check the community post because that'll let you know the schedule that we're trying to run. And if you know anybody that's into sports and want to kick back, have fun, because this go get silly over here. This go get silly. We gonna have a lot of fun. Hey, let them know. D knows the sports show. Share it with your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be doing giveaways, all that. You're going to get an experience over here. This ain't going to be no BS and no fluff. So stay tuned. This is what we go do, and we going to have a lot of fun. But I'm going to sign off. I know it's Sunday again. People got to go to work in the morning, and I don't want to hold nobody up. But I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to tap in for a second. And look forward to seeing you guys really, really soon. We're going to try to shoot for something this week till we can get to that point where we can make this a daily show. I'll also be looking for the videos because I'll have videos coming out tomorrow too. But as I say all the time, till the next live, till the next video, peace.